Ai, Ai, Zen. Yeah, yeah. Look, we're just gonna throw some bars in, have a bit of a laugh, have some fun. Hope you guys like it. Much love. You know it is. Come on, you ones.
Hello, and welcome to the In Crowd, first of a series of short shows, about 45 minutes long, talking to other fans, other West Ham fans, introducing my first guest, Camz. Camz, introduce yourself, mate.
I'm Cam from Hammers Fans United, also known as the Scouse Hammer, because of my accent. I've been supporting West Ham ever since I can remember, so I'm looking forward to getting into this.
Brilliant. So the Scouse Hammer, I mean, that has quite a significance for you and I personally as well, don't it?
It's a funny one. It's a funny one.
It's a funny one, and most people that are going to watch this will already know the story. So we're going to just brush over it briefly. But I went to the Leeds game, the Leeds FA Cup game. I went along with the Amaret, and we went on to the Carpenter's Arms afterwards. And during the evening, well, we weren't there that long, but during the evening I went to the toilet. And a fella comes in and says, "Don't mind if I squeeze in between you lads here." Big lump of a fella. Happens to be this man. Sorry, yeah. I said, "Excuse me, mate. Don't mind me asking, where's your accent from?" And your reply was? Your reply?
Liverpool. I had to think then. Liverpool.
Yeah. And I said, "What, another Scouse Hammer?" And your reply to that was? What was your reply to that?
There can't be another one. It's only me. I had to think again. It can't be another one. Me. I'm the only one. Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. So yeah, the funny thing was though, we just met for the first time in person in a gents' toilets in a busy pub with everybody drinking alcohol and getting really, really charged up. And we just met for the first time. We'd seen each other on screen a few times and stuff, but other than that, so it was quite strange because I said to him, "What, you're the Scouse Hammer?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "Fuck off, I'm Budgie." He's like, "No way." No way.
Me being wankered at the time, I was already seeing double. I couldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
I recognise the voice.
Your
voice is iconic. I recognise that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't see.
And then obviously, I mentioned that Amaret was out in the bar, and we went out there, and the weekend just got messier from there on in, didn't it? Really.
It was a good weekend. It was a really good weekend. It was nice bumping into you. And before I went into the toilets, I literally just finished my last pint, and I was going to go to the toilet to that and then head home. And then, funnily enough, you happen to be there. I can't just walk away from you, can I? I'm not going home. I'm staying.
No, true. And it took you 2 days to get home in the end. Spent a couple of days with us, you know what I mean? It was great. Well, almost a couple of days with us anyway. The whole of the next day, it was great. It was funny. It was quite funny. But
it was like, even though it was the first time meeting you as well, I felt like I'd known you for like years, if you know what I mean. It was like, we were just close and we all connected really well. And it was
I mean,
nice.
the
really
surprising thing for me, of course, was that, when we went to the station, I kind of half expected you to get on your train to go wherever you were going. And, Hammerette to get on her train to go where she's going. And me to get on my train to go, to where I'm going. And the next thing I realised is we're all on one train going to my house. And it just got messier from there. The guy had to offer you guys gin.
Unfortunate, but it worked. I've done the job.
Yeah, so we had a good messy weekend though, but it was good fun. It was good fun. So yeah, Cam, you've been supporting West Ham for most of your life, I would imagine, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. A good fraction of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you get turned on to West Ham? I mean, because like myself, you're not actually local to the club, are you? Or did you live?
Not
locally?
at all. No. I lived fairly close, about an hour and a half away. I used to live down south, down in Hastings, not too far away from Brighton.
Okay.
So you dropped me off there as well. If you remember that night.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, we went there. Yeah.
So I spent a good few years down there. Done my GCSEs and that down there. So I was fairly like about an hour and a half away. So about to go to games, and I used to go up to Upton Park nearly every week when I could. But I spent I spent most of my life in Liverpool. To be fair to you, I grew up in Anfield, like literally round the corner from Anfield Stadium.
All right.
Like you can hear the crowd and that on match days as well. My mum tried to turn me Liverpool. All my family are Liverpool fans. Actually, no, there's a few Everton, but most of my family are Liverpool fans. My mum wanted me to be Liverpool. She grew up going to Anfield every week, meeting all the players. She used to work at the McDonald's in Anfield Stadium just so she can watch the matches and that, because obviously they close it and then open it back up at half time or whatever. So she used to always pick up the shifts in that McDonald's there. And it's funny enough that I work at McDonald's now. So did she. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. Crazy that. But, crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted me to be. She took me to Anfield loads when I was younger, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember a thing. She took me to a Champions League game against Porto. They beat them 7-1. I don't remember a thing. Okay. The only thing I remember was this big banner going over my head, and I couldn't see anything. That's the only thing I remember. There are big flags that go around the stadium.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember, because I thought it was like a big bed sheet or something. I didn't know what it was. Me only being a little one.
Yeah. But all of your actual football history really has sort of been at Upton Park and now obviously the London Stadium.
It is,
really. I mean, all of the memories that you hold are from like supporting West Ham. How did that come about, though? I mean, was your you said your mum was a Liverpudlian, yeah?
Yeah.
Scouser. And your dad's from where? Sorry, what is he? Is he a Londoner or something?
Yeah, my actual dad, he's from Newcastle. He's not Newcastle, sorry. He's from Sunderland. He's a Sunderland fan.
Oh, okay.
He'd kill me if you heard me say Newcastle. Then.
So the plot thickens even more. Then go on.
Yeah. I'm so my blood's fully northern, northeast, northwest, Liverpool, Sunderland, like fully northern blood. Right, but my stepdad, who's with my mum now, they got married when I was about 6.
All right. Okay.
He's a West Ham fan. He's from Hastings, down south. And
there you have it.
He took me to Goodison Park. I think it was 2004, 2005 away. We beat them 2-1, and I remember Bobby Zamora scoring an absolute screamer from about 30 yards out. That's the winner. That was the game 2-1.
Yeah, I do remember that goal.
And it was just, mum had a little secret as well. I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. My mum put a Liverpool shirt on me underneath for that whole game. And I went to my stepdad after. I was like, I've got a secret. I've got a fucking shirt on.
Oh, no.
And it's because I'm in
Your mum must have been a wicked woman.
It's because it's in Goodison Park. That's why she felt like I had to wear her colours.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, there are stories that that underneath the concrete at the Emirates Stadium, that there are a few Tottenham flags and West Ham scarves and flags and stuff laid in the concrete at the Emirates. That's just
interesting.
Legend. I don't know how true that is, because obviously they didn't screen the contractors. They didn't have any idea that anybody would be so I don't know what word so obsessive, But yeah, apparently. yeah. So you went to Upton Park plenty then as a youngster.
I had a season ticket for one season, and we only got the season tickets because my great nan died that year. Who she lived literally just down the road from Anfield again. Like all my family were in Anfield, and out of they had 2 decisions. They were gonna put money down on a house, get a mortgage and whatever, or we get season tickets for that season, and we ended up getting the season tickets. And my stepdad was talking to me about it the other day. Like I wouldn't have had it any other way because of the memories we had at Upton Park. Like I wouldn't have changed that for the world. So so just for that one season, I think we just got Gil Franco Zola in as a manager as well.
Right.
And, I remember very many Mark Noble penalties. I'll tell you that because I was only young. I was about 7 or 8 at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember very many Mark Noble penalties. I was we done Macclesfield Town 4-1. That was a good game. I really love watching that.
Yeah.
And but most of my memories were in the bowling pub because I was like a face in there. I used to wear like a Robert Green shirt because we had him as keeper at the time, and I'd be in the circle and like in the middle of the bowling, and I'd all be going, England's number one, England's number one. I mean, I'm absolutely loving it. I found a video the other day on YouTube of me, little me, bouncing around in the bowling pub, and all these fellas throwing their pints of lager over me.
Send me the link over.
Yeah,
Send me the link
I've
over.
got the video on my phone.
I'll
send you it. Yeah, I've got the link on my phone. I'll send you it.
I'll pop it in a little video for a bit of fun for the channel, you know. But I'd like to do that with videos of, you know, some more of the viewers as well. So if anybody watching this wants to send me in a video, yeah, I'll put the email address into the link. Right. So plenty of time spent at the bowling ground then. So favourite moment from any of your experiences at the bowling?
Heartbreaking as it was, the last game at Upton Park, I went to that, and it was just the atmosphere was just incredible, and Green Street was absolutely full. Everyone was shoulder to shoulder, like it was ridiculous. I've never seen it like that ever, and I know it used to be like that probably back in the day, but I was never, unfortunately, I was never around to see it then, which was the best times. But it was beautiful just watching it. I watched the Man United coach come in as well, and they were late. I watched all the bricks and everything getting looked at it. That was funny. Same old West Ham.
Same old West Ham, yeah.
The bowling pub was absolutely electric. It was. I've never heard noise like it before ever. And unfortunately, I never actually had tickets either. I couldn't get into the game. We used to stand on top of the garages underneath the big flats, and you could see over the gate, and actually you could see half the pitch. And if not, you've got the big screen, so you can see everything anyway. And you're in there with the atmosphere. And there must have been about 100 of us on top of that roof that day, and we were all singing Bubbles, and it was just beautiful. Honest to God,
brilliant, great. What a memory! What a great memory. You know, yeah. I mean, every time I went to the stadium, with the exception of one time when I got refused entry because I was too drunk. But apart from that, every time I went to Upton Park, I managed to get into the game that I wanted to see. Once or twice, I did have to get into the away end, but I was safe. I was safe.
It's the only stand I've never been in the away end.
I wasn't the only one, you know. I wasn't the only one. There was probably about a dozen of us, so I was fairly safe, you know. And that was against Middlesbrough, funnily enough. In a league game, yeah. We had quite a rivalry with Middlesbrough back then as well. So yeah, we kind of took a risk, but it was an educated risk, you know. There were a few of us. But, so the last game at the Boleyn when we beat Man United. Is that the game you're talking about? Or are you talking about the Legends game?
No, the Man United one.
Oh, yeah, the Man United. Yeah, because, you know, I mean, obviously, since about 1986 up until this season, I hadn't been to a game for many reasons. But obviously, watch as many as I can that are televised, and always watching Match of the Day to catch the highlights, etc., etc. Followed them as closely as I could, as like an armchair supporter, I suppose. Many people would list that as, but you know, never lost my love and passion for the club ever. And you know, the YouTube gives you the opportunity to watch these games in full. You know, there are people that post the full game and stuff. So I have watched the games, you know, obviously not as passionately as you were being stood there on that roof, you know, with, you know, under other people. But, you know, and, you know, like I think that game was actually televised at the time. I'm fairly sure it was.
It must have been, yeah. If the last game at Upton Park, it must have been. I'm fairly sure it was. And, you know, I can remember. I recorded it on Sky as well to watch the ceremony after. Yeah, that's it. And I think I watched it in a pub called the Tavern on the Green, on the other side of the town I live in.
And I mean, I can remember it was quite emotional, and like the ceremony afterwards and everything else, that was all televised as well, and it was quite but they turned it off towards like when it started going into the ceremonial part of the evening. The TVs were the channels were changed because they only really wanted to show the game. But I have actually managed to watch that afterwards. So yeah, I can imagine that the emotions running through your head on that day must have been conflicting.
I couldn't stay to watch the ceremony at the end either because I had to. I was with someone and she had to get home. She had like a bit of a thing to do the next day. So if I was on my own, I'd have happily stayed overnight at Upton Park. I'd have probably chained myself to the ground and I didn't want to leave at all. I really didn't want to leave. But yeah, I couldn't stay to watch the ceremony. We ended up getting stuck in Ashford that night as well, trying to get back to Hastings.
Oh god.
Yeah, we have to.
You like getting stuck places, don't you, Cam?
I'm good at it, mate. It's just what I'm good at.
Yeah. I've noticed it's a skill that you have.
I am got a problem.
Okay,
though. I'm not claustrophobic.
Okay, another quick fire question for you then. Whether you've seen it live or not, favourite West Ham moment of your lifetime?
Of my lifetime.
Yeah.
I want to say the playoff final, but a part of me feels like we shouldn't have got relegated that year anyway. To be fair, to even come back up, but I never went to it. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. But playoff final at Wembley, just all the scenes and that, all West Ham fans at Wembley watching Nolan lift up the cup and that as well, and hopefully it'll be a bigger trophy one day. I'd see it all again.
Yeah.
So playoff final.
Brilliant memory. Yeah, love that. I love that. Briefly, mine, because many people probably wouldn't know it, but my favourite West Ham memory of all time has to be the scenes in Green Street and surrounding area after the 1980 FA Cup final, the homecoming for the team. I mean, actually, while I'm talking to you now, I've got on YouTube, I've actually got that game running. I've got that, the 1980 FA Cup final against Arsenal. I've got that running.
I've watched it a couple of times as well.
Yeah. But my favourite all-time West Ham moment is the homecoming after that game. The scene is incredible. You can find it on YouTube, Cam. Have a look at it, mate. I swear. People are sitting on people's shoulders, who are standing on lampposts, who are standing on bus shelters. They're sitting along people's shutters, along their shop fronts, and mate, they're everywhere. There's tens of thousands of people, tens of thousands. You can't see the ground for bodies. It's incredible, honestly. And I think that bus must have gone.
Puts me off a bit seeing homecomings.
A mile a day. It puts you off.
Oh dear.
Sorry, what was you saying?
Oh, my bad. I said it puts me off a bit seeing homecomings and that because my mum traumatised me a bit when I was a kid. When Liverpool beat us in 2006, and after I just got my heart broken by Steven Gerrard, my mum dragged me out to watch Liverpool's homecoming with the FA Cup. And I was horrified. Absolutely horrified.
See, now, I never had conflicting football loyalties in my family until I started following my mum and dad's choice of team. They both followed West Ham. They weren't great football supporters, but I chose to follow both of my mum and dad's choice. But my two brothers and my sister had all chosen to support Chelsea. That's when the rivalry started. I suppose I was conscious of that about 11 or 12 years old, and it's been going ever since. But So my first game was 1966-67 season at home against Newcastle. I don't know when it was in schedule because I was only 4. I don't remember the game. I don't remember the result of the game. I just remember being scared when Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, and Martin Peters all walked out on the pitch, and the whole stadium erupted with cheers and applause. And you know, I was 4 years old. You know, I was scared.
Was that just after the World Cup? Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
You know, during that season, you know, when them 3 guys walked out on any pitch, every single team, and likewise when, you know, like away teams, I'm led to believe anyway, when away teams came to Upton Park, if a World Cup winner came out on the pitch, they were applauded by the entire West Ham faithful. Do you know what I mean? Along with Bobby Moore, Martin Peters, and Jeff Hurst, you know, and they would generally walk out quite close to each other, so that, you know, it was kind of like a joint thing, you know. And I think a lot of that was to do with Bobby Moore going, "Come on, you were in the World Cup team, you come out with us lot," you know, because that was the kind of guy Bobby Moore was.
Oh, that's nice though.
Yeah. He was such an honourable man, you know. I don't know how many cards that man was ever given, but I wouldn't think it was very many. I really wouldn't. I mean, actually, one time a referee had the ball kicked into his face, and Bobby Moore picked up the whistle and blew the whistle. Stop the game. You know, I don't remember the details of it, but I do remember it happening. You know, I was quite young when it happened. So, but yeah, fantastic. Okay, so favourite London Stadium memory?
I haven't got very many, I'll be honest with you.
Me either. So
probably, I found a picture the other day because I seen myself on telly as well while we were doing this. 4 or 5-0 down to Man City. I can't remember the score exactly. It was about, I'd had a drink. It was about 4 or 5. I'll tell you that. And the whole Bobby Moore lower, we were still making plenty of noise. Everyone, because the ground was already empty at this point. This was like early days London Stadium. The ground was pretty much empty with 4 or 5-0 down. And everyone in the stadium just moved around to Bobby Moore lower, and we were all just making just this one little stand, making more noise in the away end, who were 4 or 5-0 up. So that's probably one of my favourites. And I seen a picture of it the other day. Like, I seen myself on telly. I had to take a picture of it, absolutely screaming, 4 or 5-0 down.
Brilliant. I like that. Yeah. I think for me, my favourite London Stadium run has got to be going to watch the evening game, a game with Hammerette and Pops, Dad. You know, we went to the Zagreb game. Was it? Hang on, Zagreb. No, hang on. Who was it we lost to? We didn't lose the game. We won. It was the last game.
We didn't lose any in Europe. I think we drew one, didn't we? One the others.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah,
we might have lost one actually. I think I'm making it up.
I think. Oh, I can't remember now. You know,
I don't know. We might have lost one.
But anyway, it was. I'm sure it was the Zagreb game that we went to. In fact, that was the evening I tripped over and turned my ankle over. That was quite funny as well. But going to our home ground on a European evening, you know, on a European game with all the flares going off, you know, like the pyrotechnics going off and bubbles being sung by, you know, 60,000 people, best part of, you know, the atmosphere in that stadium was absolutely incredible. In fact, you know, I'd go so far as to say it's probably, as far as I can remember, like the most excited I've been at a football game in my life. It was incredibly good, you know. But also, you know, the first game I went to, you know, the Crystal Palace 2-2 draw. That was the first time I met Hammerette and a few others, Toby Sampson and that, who I'm hoping is going to do one of these. Yeah, no, I think London Stadium for me has definitely got to be that European evening. Yeah,
I do like the ground. Don't get me wrong, but it's never going to be home again. If you know what I mean, it's never going to be the same.
I know.
My childhood second home was Upton Park. So
yeah,
it's never going to be the same.
I get it. I get it, and I kind of share that feeling myself. Really, if I'm honest, but that's almost like saying to me that number 17 Ashdown Drive is always going to be my home. Well, it's not. I was 5 years old when we moved out of there. But you have to kind of move on with the times, and we had a fantastic history at Upton Park, and one that I loved and shared some of. But now we're making a new history, a history for millennials basically, because let's face it, that's the future. That's the millennials, including I mean, I don't. When were you born, Cam? I mean, what year were you born?
2001.
Right. So my daughter's older than you then, because she was born in October 2000. My son was born in 2003. But we're sort of trying to build a future for your age groups. Like at the London Stadium, a more modern stadium, one that's more suited for the purpose of having many more people there. It's all relative, and I know that you're one of the crossover generation, but your son or daughter won't be. They will only know. They will only ever know the London Stadium. So and the way the crowd behaved there at the moment, it's a little bit touch and go, because sometimes everybody's in unison and it's just a complete din, and what's being sung because you can hear it all around the stadium. And then sometimes you got pockets of people singing different songs, and that can be quite confusing and frustrating at times, because that never happened at Upton Park. Even if five guys in the chicken run started singing, a song about Bobby Moore or whatever, the whole stadium would join in, or singing Bubbles or something. The whole stadium would join in. Brilliant. But it was almost like you could hear everybody in Upton Park. It was a lot closer, I know. So yeah. Okay, one more question for you then, Cam. Your perfect outcome for the next 3 years for West Ham.
Perfect outcome. So how do you mean, like how we get on in the league, or how we?
Yeah. Bear in mind where we are and what competitions we're still in, etc. At this present time. Over the next 3 years, where would you like to see West Ham get to, and what would you like to see them achieve in that 3 years?
It's a good question. To be honest, I'm very mixed. Because like I've said in the past before as well, I'm gonna miss the relegation battles low key, only because again what you were saying, this is like it's like we're rebranding ourselves a bit now for the millennials and whatever, looking like more of a fancy club. And let's be honest, we're massive, but we're getting bigger. The club I fell in love with, like you said, I'm sort of like a crossover. The club I fell in love with was like a shit old club to say, but that's what I loved about it, if you know what I mean. Like we just shit houses, a lot of us, all the fans, the club itself, we're just shit houses. That's what I loved about it. So now I don't want to be the next Chelsea per se, like Marks and Spencer's and that, literally 2 minutes away from the ground. Or it's a Waitrose as well. I think we got both. I think we got a Waitrose and a Marks and Spencer's 2 minutes away from the ground. So I feel like we're slowly turning into a Chelsea, and that's what I don't want. But where I see us in 3 years, though, I reckon we could be like constant European contenders. I'll be honest with you, I think we're capable of doing that. And I'm more than happy with regular European football. I'm more than happy with that, as long as we do strengthen the squad up, which we needed in January. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
But if we can strengthen the squad, I'll be happy with European football constantly. I don't want to be regular Champions League, but I'll be happy with Champions League every now and then. Winning the league once would be nice, and then let's stop there. I don't want to be one of the big six. Let's be honest. Like I said, I don't want to be Chelsea.
Mm. So within that, then, since this time last year, we've had Daniel Kretinsky invest 27% of the value of the club, and so now owns over a quarter of the club, with rumours and stories going around that that he is planning to become the major shareholder, so therefore the owner of the club. Do you think that he's the right man to take this club forward, bearing in mind what we have at this current moment in time?
I don't know much about him, I'll tell you that. Whereas David Gold and David Sullivan, they always say about how they grew up on Green Street, and they look at Upton Park like that's the past, and then you can see the London Stadium from the stands, and that's the future or whatever. I don't know if you've seen that video. I think it was on Iron Man. I'm in that as well, funnily enough, on the roof I was telling you about last game at the bowling. They showed us all on the roof in that. So they're West Ham fans. They grew up on Green Street, so you'd expect them to be wanting the best for us. You know what I mean? Which it looks like they're trying to do.
Yeah.
In a funny way.
I mean,
they've got a funny way.
I think in some respects that David Gold has kind of lost his passion for this task that he has taken on. I think he's lost some of the passion for it. Hence why some of his shares went into the Kretinsky deal and none of Sullivan's did. So I got a funny feeling that I think David Gold will be the first one to go, if any of them choose to stay.
The only thing I'm really worried about is if we sell Rice in the summer or the year after or whatever. When we sell Rice, I'm worried about them bouncing with the Rice money and then giving Kretinsky 100%, because that's 150, 200 mil down the drain, gone. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Apart from that, I'd be more than happy to give Kretinsky.
But, like Daniel Kretinsky, amongst some of his many investments that he makes on his own behalf and on behalf of a conglomerate that he represents, some of his many investments are in Royal Mail, Waitrose, Sainsbury's, DHL. I believe there's one or two airlines. I'm not sure what ones they are. I think UPS is one of them. One of the airlines is one, UPS, I believe. I'm not 100% certain, but which means that he would have, shares in UPS globally. So this man, we're not talking about a man that's not able to pull up a few quid. So I don't think that the Rice money, regardless of when that does come, and we're not stupid, we know it will come. I think the Rice money will be actually reinvested into the squad, because I think Kretinsky would rather have the deals done via an investment, which would then go into a loan on the club. Well, we've been paying back a loan to Gold, Sullivan and Brady for 7 years, 8 years, is it? Something like that, and we ain't even made a dent in it. So, what difference does it make if it's them or him that we owe the money to? I think I'd rather owe it to him because of his track record with who's the team that the Czech Republic team that he
Sparta Prague.
Sparta Prague, that's it. Sorry, yeah. I mean, look how well he's done with them, and he's allowed us to have players from there, and so on and so forth. And he allowed us to approach them for, more players if we want to. Basically, it's an open deal. You can have whoever you want, whenever you want. Basically, that's how it appears, anyway. So, hopefully, the Kretinsky takeover, when it comes, will be a positive thing for the club, in my opinion.
I hope you're right. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I'm just looking at them bouncing off with 200 mil for Rice, and that's it. We'll never hear from them again.
Yeah, no, I think Kretinsky would, because I mean he already owns a quarter of Declan Rice anyway.
Interesting. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
You know, that's how it is. Well, you're not selling my quarter of him. They can't sell him. That's he could do that. I don't know if the major shareholder, as in Sullivan, I don't know if he can overrule that because of being the major shareholder. But I'm sure that Kretinsky would have some say in the Rice deal. Sure he would. But okay, one more quick fire question then. How about this? Who's your favourite current West Ham player? And you can't say Declan Rice.
Okay. Jarrod Bowen has to be, surely. First name that comes to mind straight away. Let's be honest with you, there's two players who've been absolute quality this season for us. Declan Rice, Jarrod Bowen. And I can't have one of them,
yeah.
So...
Yeah,
I hope he sees
us. And that will be a question that I'll fire at everybody. That'll be the last question for everybody. So yeah. I mean, I completely and utterly agree, 100%. I even if someone said to me, "Who's been your favourite player?" Or "Who's your current favourite player at West Ham United?" and they didn't even say I couldn't pick Rice, I would still pick Jarrod Bowen right now.
Same.
Because as much as I love Deck and I know how well he's doing and how much he improved game on game on game, season upon season, the man is improving. Pretty soon, we won't be talking about him being the likes of the top 5 central defenders in the world. He will be the one, if he keeps doing what he's doing. But right now, this moment in time, Jarrod Bowen, I mean, okay, we've got to say it. He's been on fire. He just has. He has, and he's really grown into that right wing inverted winger role. He comes in on his left, and the assists, the crosses, the goals, the trouble he gives defences. West Ham right now have got ourselves a very, very good right winger.
Yeah, I love the kid to bits as well. And it does me head in a bit when people are saying, well, people are calling for him to be a backup striker, for Antonio. But I don't want him as a backup striker. I like him where he is. He's thriving there at the minute. Mm-hmm. Why would you change that?
Right this minute, I would actually probably have Vlasic in the backup role.
I play Vlasic in the false 9. I play that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Play him as a false 9. Be great. I think he would be good in that position. But yeah, Jarrod Bowen, for me, hammer of the season so far.
Yeah, definitely.
I know it's a tough one between him and Declan. But, in fairness, right now on current performances and stuff, his form is so good. He must be good. Liverpool are looking at him. He must be good.
Would you put a price on him?
Yes, I would right now. If it was Liverpool, I would put a price on him. Yeah,
how much would you put?
I would put 60 million plus a player.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. What player? What have you got in mind?
Origi.
Origi. I'll take Origi or Minamino with 60 mil.
Yeah, Minamino, definitely. Yes, I would. But 60 mil and Origi, I think, would be a quality deal for Bowen. Not that I would like to see Bowen go, but I think that would be absolutely quality for him. Like the right kind of deal. Failing that, a cash deal, got to take 85, haven't you? 80, 85.
Yeah,
You
I'd
can't,
agree with that.
you can't ask for less than that. On current form, you know, Declan 130 minimum. And that's like, you know, come on, we'll give you 130 plus add-ons. But yeah, all right. The add-ons have to go up to about another 20. You know. But
play the United card. What they want for Lingard, a mil per game. See if we can get them for that.
Yeah. So anyway, Cam, what we'll do, we'll wrap up, mate. We've been chatting for just over 40 minutes. So, you know, it's been lovely getting to know you a bit better, and I'm sure the other people out there will enjoy hearing our chat as well. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
It's been a pleasure being here, mate. It's nice having a chat with you as well.
Yeah. Well, likewise, mate. It's always a pleasure chatting to you. I'm just going to pop this on the bottom of the screen. Camz is a presenter for Hammersmith United. Please like and subscribe to his channel, Hammersmith United. And you know, hopefully I'm going to get Dave on here as well, Davey. Titch has agreed already, so you know all I've got to do is get the all clear from Davey, and I'll have him on as well. But as I said, please like and subscribe to Hammersmith United. Camz gets on there. It'll do Camz Corner on a Friday, is it?
6 o'clock next Thursday. 6 o'clock next Thursday. Yeah.
Next Thursday. Okay, mate. Brilliant. Camz Corner, 6 o'clock next Thursday. This will go out probably. I think I'll probably let this go out on Monday afternoon, maybe a bit sooner. I ain't got to do a lot to it, to be honest with you. Not much editing at all. But Cam, been brilliant talking to you. You know, love to have you on the channel, you know, whenever you're available and whenever you fancy a general chat about the events of the week or whatever, you know.
Always, mate, whenever I'm free, you've got me.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, I'm also going to be doing 1 or 2 shows with yourself and Titch and stuff, like player rating shows and stuff. I'll be doing Kidderminster. I know you'll be working. You'll be working, I believe, Cam, but I'll be doing Kidderminster with Titch and I believe Kieran. So, yep.
Okay.
Anyway,
Justin,
take good care. Stay safe up there, mate. And hopefully I'll see you again. Cheers. Next time you're down for a game, let me know. Even if I can't get a ticket for the game, I'm coming up for the pub. All right?
Yes, but yeah, I will do.
Definitely. All right, and so no worries. And yeah, so all we've got to say left is come on, you Irons.
On you Irons.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.